Hello, my name is Scott Davis. Welcome to New World Birth. This is the care and feeding of a New World Age report for the Gregorian date of September 13th, 2016, in one eek or wind in the Mayan Zolkin calendar with the Pisces full moon and lunar eclipse. Mercury turning direct, the Sun entering Libra for the equinox, and Venus entering Scorpio. September 13th is one eek or wind, and it carries the themes of air, breath, life force, prana, chi, that which animates life, inspiration, imagination, the spark of creativity and spirit, communication and dissemination of seeds and ideas. And the day glyph for wind is a T-shaped cross, which represents the Mayan god of wind and also is symbolic of trees, which restore the life energy to the air. This 13-day period would be a good time to communicate your inspiration and connect with the life force that makes you unique. An interesting item of note about this wind trecena, which is associated with communication, is that the planet associated with communication, Mercury, is slowing down and is at the peak of its power as it stops prior to turning direct on the 22nd. And before I get into the daily energy for the one eek trecena, on the 13th, all the planets appear to be moving direct from our perspective here on the Earth, with the exception of Mercury, Chiron, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which appear to be moving retrograde or in reverse motion. And remember, the themes of retrograde planets are review of the past, reevaluate, reminisce, and we can see these themes being played out. We've got Mercury retrograde in Virgo until the 22nd. This is a good time to avoid signing contracts or other legal papers or making any major purchases or even taking a new job. If you can postpone these types of activities, the terms will be much clearer after Mercury is moving direct. This may seem impossible, but if you can avoid these activities a few days before and after Mercury is changing direction on the 22nd, when the energy is at its most potent, this would be beneficial. Mercury retrogrades force us to slow down and pay more attention to our lives by making us focus on the details of our daily experience. When looking at the retrograde cycles of any personal inner planets, it provides information about a correction to our present course. Chiron retrograde has us reviewing our wounds so that they can be released by having the courage to open our hearts to the fear and pain associated with the past. If you find yourself recalling painful events or situations between now and when Chiron turns direct on November 30th, it's advisable to remain conscious while dealing with these uncomfortable feelings, as they will reveal a path to healing and letting go of what no longer serves a purpose in our upcoming journey. And then we've got Uranus retrograde in Aries, which is seeking to shake our very foundation through the unexpected rebellion of the individual. Uranus and Aries will have people wanting to push the process of getting free, to push the river of revolution, whether it be personal or political. And in astrology, Uranus forces us to outside of our comfort zone, so we have to look for possibilities outside of the box. This retrograde period is about unexpected, unplanned experiences that disrupt our perceived or planned life path in order to move us forward in our spiritual evolution individually and globally. And then we've got Neptune retrograde in Pisces, which is seeking transcendence through spiritual experiences. This is a time to use spiritual practices to help keep us grounded as we expand our intuition and consciousness. In both Neptune and Pisces, the sign that rules tend to be dreamy, imaginative, difficult to nail down due to their qualities of illusion and illumination, often without any way of knowing which is which. They represent compassion and codependence, selflessness and loss of self, higher purpose and substance abuse, in their inspiration to transcend the material plane and experience something beyond words and thoughts. And then we've got Pluto in Capricorn retrograde. This is the planet of transformation through death and rebirth. So this, again, about reviewing the past. So this is a time of releasing anything from the past that is a burden to our new path. Pluto represents death and completion, and in Capricorn, this is about the breakdowns of structures to bring about transformation. September 13th is 1 Eek or wind. This is about unity experienced through communication in the Mayan Soul King calendar, while we have the sun in a square to Mars. So from our perspective here on the Earth, this is a 90-degree angle between the sun and Mars, which is a day when we are more conscious of ourselves and our motivations. This could be a day where we observe ego conflicts between people, folks that will be looking for vulnerabilities in others, flaws in arguments, any errors that can be challenged, or any other chink in the armor of the other. This is a high energy transit, perhaps too high if we're not careful. So watch for signs of people becoming irritable or impatient, especially when things don't go as planned. Probably it's best to avoid being assertive unless it's absolutely called for. This is a time where people are projecting their irritability and aggression on others without realizing that it's originating within themselves. A day to be particularly careful of conflict with authority. Even if our claims are legitimate, we're likely to encounter a hostile reaction during this transit. It would be good to vent this energy into some type of physical activity that will give your aggressions a satisfactory outlet. Without an outward expression, this type of energy can lead to illness and accidents, or if projected, it will attract angry and difficult people. I'm not going to be covering the daily lunar activity in these reports other than new and full moons, but that information is available on the New World Birth daily Facebook post and also on the blogger New World Birth blog. The 14th is 2 Akbal, or night, duality experienced through contemplating the stars, as the sun opposes Chiron, which illuminates our deepest wounds through the opposition of the Virgo sun and Chiron and Pisces, bringing forward health, organization, and service consciousness to heal and bring spiritual liberation. Also on the 14th, Mars squares Chiron, which challenges us to look and feel the pain of our past wounds related to sex and aggressions, so that experience consciously healing can occur. These chironic alignments lead us towards the Pisces full moon and lunar eclipse on the 16th. Healing is highlighted in the full moon chart, and the past cannot be ignored during this time of fruition. September 15th is 3 Con, or seed, or lizard, taking action through planting seeds and making new connections in the Mayan Soul King calendar. The 16th is 4 Chan, or serpent, stability through being flexible, while we have the Pisces full moon, which is a challenging full moon with some very assertive and unexpected energy of the planetary alignments on the days following this lunation. Pisces represents the surrender of a spirit in the emotional realm to be balanced with the practical aspects of living in the physical world. This harvest moon, which leads to simplicity and attunement to what really matters. Are you happy with the results for what you've sown over the past 6 months? This lunation is opposed by Mercury along with the sun and challenged by Mars. Square Mars can have people feeling irritable, which could lead to needless disputes, and opposed by Mercury will have some feeling a real conflict between feelings and reason, and others having fruitful expressions of their deeper awareness either internally or with another. Full moons bring a time of tension, and this one in Pisces is pulling us to explore otherworldly realms, with the sun in Virgo wanting us to be grounded and organized in an organized way of being in this world. And grounding rituals will help us assimilate the spiritual and healing influences of this lunation. And the penumbral eclipse will be difficult to see as the moon becomes only slightly less visible during this eclipse. which can be seen pretty much at least slightly all over the world, except for North America and most of South America. So anyway, this can be a very challenging time for people with planets between 22 and 26 degrees of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. To Native American tribes, this was the full harvest moon, or full corn moon, when corn was harvested. It was a time of working late under the light of the full moon to pick crops before the frost in the North America. This is a time when Native Americans harvested corn, pumpkins, beans, rice, and squash. September 17th is 5 Kimi, or transformation, empowerment through releasing what no longer serves us, as we have Mars in a trine to Uranus. So from our perspective here on the Earth, Mars is forming a 120-degree angle with Uranus, which brings new activities and encounters, some occurring quite unexpectedly, that are exciting and have the potential for personal growth. People will want to break out of their daily routines with personal inhibitions reduced. Expect folks to engage in activities that they desired yet didn't have the courage for before. Risk-taking under this influence will give a greater sense of being alive, but also may have unexpected, unpleasant consequences if things don't work out just right. This can be used. This energy can be used to break down barriers in our lives without having to be to impulsively destroy everything we see as a restriction. This alignment supports taking action to bring about change. This could be shocking to those who resist or are otherwise inflexible. And then the 18th is 6 Manique, or deer, which is about being in the flow through being a service to others, while we have a Venus in opposition to Uranus. So from our perspective here on the Earth, this is a 180-degree angle between Venus and Uranus, which can bring sudden, unexpected occurrences in love relationships, which may not be negative. This can be unusual and stimulating, but also destabilizing, as people will be driven to have exciting activities and experiences. The routine in relationships will not be satisfying on the 18th, and unresolved tension in love relationships may cause a rupture in the pairing. Relationships that begin under this influence will provide a break from the mundane, but may not be long-lasting. And since Venus also rules money, this could also indicate unexpected change in the financial markets. September 19th is 7 Lamont, or star, or rabbit, or Venus reflection through being grateful for abundant relationships, which we have Venus, Lamont. It is in a sextile to Mars, so from our perspective here on the Earth, this is a 60-degree angle between Venus and Mars, which favors love relationships and the formation of friendships. This brings balance between self-assertion and the desire to relate to others. In romantic or sexual relationships, this comes about through a give and take process. And in friendships, we may encourage others to be their selves by being authentic ourselves. This also brings action, Mars, to creative projects, Venus. Overall, this is a drive to beautify. It's a great day to be with others at a party or at a night out on the town, with the energy for lively interactions, particularly with the opposite sex. This is also good for investments in something new and unique. The 20th is 8 Maluk, or offering, balanced through appreciating creation. And we have Mercury in a trine to Pluto. So from our perspective here on the Earth, Mercury is forming a 120-degree angle with Pluto, which can bring concerns about the deeper issues in life. This has people wanting to dig below the surface to uncover mysteries. On a personal level, this can be an excellent time for inner work, so it might be a good day to do some for some alone time, to discover some deeper dimensions of your psyche. Communications may seem rather serious or profound. thoughts may be more focused and gain insights about important developments. And since Mercury is at a standstill or stationed, this alignment is active for most of the week and is exact again on the 23rd after Mercury's moving direct again, which means it's also significant in the equinox chart. September 21st is 9 Ak, or dog, patience experienced through enjoying family and friends in the Mayan Tzolk'in calendar. And then the 22nd is 10 Shuin, or monkey, manifestation through creating something new, while the equinox brings us fall in the north and spring in the south. And we've got the sun moving into Libra. So imagining that this end of the pointer is the Earth and this is the line of sight. At this point, we've moved along the orbit until we're seeing the sun against the backdrop of the Libra constellation in the tropical system. So the sun in Libra, this is a sign of the sun's fall, which means the sun is debilitated in the sign of the scales. Equinoxes and solstice astrology charts give us insights about the coming season, and this one has the sun conjunct Jupiter, which is a very good energy both physically and psychologically. It's very optimistic and expansive. As mentioned earlier, we've got Mercury trine Pluto in the chart, which bringing our thinking and communication to explore our depths. Mercury is also part of a mutable grand cross where it's opposing Neptune and at a 90-degree angle to Saturn, and also squaring the Gemini moon. And we've been discussing the Saturn-Neptune square as it's been dissolving reality and structures. And in the equinox chart, Mercury, just a few hours before the equinox, it can really add confusion to thinking. And then the moon adding an emotional tension to the upcoming season. And then, of course, Venus is still an orb to Mars, and it's opposing Uranus. Opposing Uranus. As Mars and Uranus still trine each other. So this is again a factor in the equinox chart. It brings excitement and unusualness to our sexual and love relationships. The moon is also opposing Mars and sextile Uranus, bringing irritability and unpredictable emotions to the chart. Neptune is in a sextile to Mars, so from our perspective here on the Earth, again, this is a 60-degree angle between Neptune and Mars, casting a veil that deludes or inspires us to gain greater insights from what has been previously hidden and has the potential to empower, but without really knowing which is which. So the upcoming season favors being flexible in our relationships, as we may feel limited and confused by the activities in our communities and the collective. The Libra Sun conjunct Jupiter brings expansion and illumination to the issues of justice and fairness. North of the equinox, this is a time to review, north of the equator, this is a time to review the intentions that we planted during the spring equinox. And south of the equator, this is a time to plant new intentions for the upcoming year. And then also on the 22nd, Mercury, it turns direct at 14 degrees Virgo, which will bring forward information that brings a new sense of a course correction and heading in the right direction. It will take Mercury a few days to build momentum, so patience is important until the messenger gets up to speed and we feel our lives moving in a forward direction. September 23rd is 11 ebb or road resolution through serving our community. And at this point, Venus has moved along in its orbit to the point where it's entered into Scorpio, which is the sign of its detriment because it's the sign opposite of Taurus, which Venus rules. And planets in detriment are traditionally considered to have difficulty operating positively in these signs. Relationship issues will not be able to be suppressed while Venus is in Scorpio until October 18th. Venus in Scorpio emphasizes the passion and sexual energy in relationships. Scorpio, being ruled by Pluto, wants to feel a spiritual connection to the other where it experiences surrender, death, and rebirth and transformation through love. Try to avoid being possessive during Venus's time in the sign of the Scorpion. And then also on the 23rd, again, we have a Mercury in a trine to Pluto, as it's now moving forward again. And as I said before, this really brings concern about the deeper issues in life, people wanting to dig below the surface, uncover mysteries. And again, it's an excellent time to do some inner work on yourself. Maybe find time to be alone, to do something that will help you focus on the inner dimensions of your psyche. And again, communications during this time period will seem rather serious and profound. Thoughts, again, more focused on gaining insights about what is important. On the 24th, we have 12 Ben or reed or corn, which is understanding through maintaining the home in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. And September 25th is 13 Ish or Jaguar, movement to the next stage through enjoying nature in the Zolkin. So no matter what energies are affecting you during this one wind trecena, take some time to be in the flow of the planet by being in nature, watching a sunrise or a sunset, communing with the stars, being conscious of the moment through introspection, meditation, or just really being conscious when you're with somebody you love. Every day is a blessing, no matter what dramas beckon to distract us, and we're all here giving the performance of a lifetime on this world stage. Just take some time to observe the play as well as act your part by remembering that you're a spiritual being that's having a human experience. I want to thank you for checking out New World Birth. The next segment of the care and feeding of a new world age will be for September 26th for one man or eagle, with Pluto turning direct, Mars entering Capricorn, the Libra new moon, Mercury entering Libra. And as I've said before, you can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, or the Mayan Magics website. And I encourage you to share this information as videos or as text as widely as you choose. And as always, I invite you to contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you've got any questions or wish to schedule a reading. And I am providing readings and wish to make this service available to the greatest amount of folks. So I've created 3 options with 3 levels of compensation. So if you've been thinking about getting a reading, please contact me. I would love to provide you a reading during these uncertain times. You'll need to be able to either call me in Maine in the USA, or we can connect with Skype to receive your reading. We're also accepting donations to keep these reports freely available. And as I've said before, things have gotten a little lean here. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to continue to be able to offer these reports without some support from you. So if you are so inclined and have the resources to make a donation, or as I've said before, get a reading. The readings I offer are pretty epic. They last 2, sometimes 3 hours. We go through a great deal of detail on the basic level, going over your human design chart to talk about who you are and who you're not. And at some of the upper levels, looking at your astrology transits to talk about what's going on in your life and how long is it going to last, and how you can best navigate the experiences that you're currently having, or the ones that are just about to come up. Anyway, as always, I am blessed that you've taken the time to connect with my passion for these ancient mysteries and their application to our journey during this incarnation. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, in Lakesh, and look forward to connecting with you in the future, hopefully in a reading, or if you've got a question, or a future video, or online somehow. Anyway, all my best to you, and hope to connect in the future.